What it do? What it do? Good evening. Good evening. How you doing?
Hello, how you doing?
All right. Um, the topic that I want to discuss tonight is it's called hold on one second. Let me see. It's, it's called the topic is called old era versus new era. What you think about that topic?
I mean, it all depends on what you're discussing. Are we talking about music? Are we talking about children growing up as a youth before versus now? Like, what are you
We
talking
talking
about?
we talking about everything. What went on in your time growing up as a kid to now? Like, what's the difference? You see the difference in?
Um, the kids they don't like you used to see kids outside playing on the block. Like riding their bikes on the block, skating on the block.
Hmm.
Um, I grew up in Brown Sub, so um, I spent a little bit of my time in Brown Sub, and I spent some of my youth in Opalaka, but mostly I was in Brown Sub.
Hmm.
And I just remember like they used to have battle of the DJs when we was coming up. They don't
Hmm.
have that too much anymore. Um, I'm sure the kids go to the movies now. Um, but it's just different. It's just really different with the of today.
Like,
Um, uh, we used to go to parks, and the parks they would be open. You would play the foosball, and you would play the
it's just really
what was that
different when you
game?
step up to Teddy ball,
Tetherball,
pool, the
the,
little
the little
pool
pool
table
with the
with the little,
circle,
the
with the
rings.
little circle. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's just different. You would swing and see who could go the highest or who could jump the furthest off the swing.
Yeah.
Uh, we used to play like parents used to go outside, like my mom, God bless
Hmm.
her soul, but she used to go outside with us and play jump rope and hopscotch and hula hoop. Like she would do race with us,
Hmm.
kickball. Like parents don't like they don't have the time, or I don't know, the energy or whatever to do that anymore.
Hmm.
You know, now uh everybody's too busy. You know, besides football, the
Hmm.
kids, football always been a thing.
Right.
It's always been the most popular sport, football and basketball, and also track.
Hmm.
But outside of that, like, you know, the kids just smoking weed and smoking weed and doing popping mollies, and they're starting so young.
Hmm.
Like they're starting so young. Um, and we had Atari back in the days and game Nintendo and Sega and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But now it's on a whole different plateau. The
Hmm.
gaming and stuff, and generation has changed. It's just different.
Right.
Hmm.
Right. Like I remember we used to we used to go outside to play football out there in front of the street, in front of the house. We used to
Yeah.
play. We used to play jump board. You don't know jump board? You used to never used to do jump board. Yeah, they had to put the board against over a rock or something that you jump up and down, see who jumped down there.
Uh,
We
oh
played
yeah.
that. Uh, we used to do all kind of shit. We used to go to the pool. We used to do all kind of stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you know, like in the summertime back then, when we were coming up, they used to have like they used to get like free lunches. It would be the
Oh
center to get
yeah.
free. They used to give free lunches out. So we used to go there. I had to go down there. We used to go to the park. They used to have like these people, like these white people, to come there.
Yeah.
Um, and they what they call Bible study, Bible something.
Uh-huh.
And they used to like give. They used to like get bring us to the park, and we'll sit down and make things and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, we used to do that, and as we got older, like things started changing and stuff like that. You know, we were going to high school, but back in the days, like in the era, like when I was growing up, though, like when it started changing, when we got to middle school, they got kids got more advanced. They were doing like smash and grab, snatching
Uh-huh.
pocketbooks,
Okay.
putting goals in their mouth,
Okay.
um, robbing, stealing, all that. That's when we got to middle school. That's when all that started. And then and as we got older and older, we went to high school. Things changing. You know what I mean? Because at the time, like we started toting guns when we got to high school, playing with guns and stuff like that. And
You not that you not that much younger than younger than I.
hmm
I don't know if it's just the area. I think the area that you grow up in too has a lot to do with what you're exposed to as well, or what kids are exposed to. I don't know about today because people kids have access to more things than we did. Like we didn't have the internet back then.
hmm
So the only way you saw certain things is either if you're watching television, which your parents monitor your television, how much TV you watched. They
hmm
monitored that. You couldn't watch all kind of TV all time of the nights. You actually had curfew.
right.
Um growing up back then.
hmm
Um I'm not sure if the kids of today, because I have older children,
hmm
but I know back then my kids, they didn't they had sports, they
hmm
did cheering, they did whatever sport they wanted to do. Once my daughter got in high school,
hmm
she did other curriculum things, but for the most part, the girls were always in cheering, and I didn't let them cheer for Optimus. They
Uh-huh.
did because I just thought it was so ghetto,
hmm
so I didn't allow them to do Optimus cheering.
hmm
They did it for a couple of years as like to help uh, um one of their coaches, but it wasn't something that they did. They actually competed. Um, they did competitions and stuff like that,
hmm
gymnastics and things like that. But uh, and I'm sure it's a lot of kids that's doing that today because you see a lot of the on like the internet. You see a lot of the cheer teams and stuff like that, which I like the um the cheer teams that they have of today.
hmm
Of course, I think they're a little too fast, but it is what it is. To each his own, and people have their own reasoning behind certain things. But
Right.
um, I think back then, I think our parents, most of us at least, most of us who had parents that was on hand parents,
hmm
we had curfews. We couldn't be out all time of the night. When you went outside, you couldn't come in and out your parents' house. Like it was just certain rules and things that you could and could not do. Coming up back in the 80s when I was, coming up and stuff. So Um, things are very different. Y'all, your parents trusted you to go to the store and come back. Go to the store. They give you a list to go to the store and get whatever they need you to get, and
Yeah,
you
I
better
remember that.
bring back. You
I
better bring
remember
back
that
exactly. You better
change.
make sure you count the change and stuff like that. So I remember that. Uh,
You remember when we used to collect the little glass bottles, and when you had
oh,
and you could take them in the
from the
store and get money
from the
for them. They used
Coca
to give like
Cola.
yeah, they used to give like ten
For the
cents a
Coca Cola
bottle.
card. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh huh.
and I used to and we used to I collect them and I used to take them in and to the store. We had a store across the street called Della across the street from us, and I used to take them there and get all the change, buy all the jingles. Remember the candy jingles?
Oh yeah. Hey, you won't believe I still be trying to find the candies right now today.
Man, that shit was some good candy. The jingles, the cherry,
Yeah,
the pomegranate one. That come out at Valentine's
blueberry.
season.
Yeah, the
Uh,
blueberry.
the
Yeah,
top
but
man, that shit was
they don't even carry those candies no more. Cause I was buying them too, at the
yeah.
time when they had them, but they don't even carry them no more.
hmm
Hmm.
They would have it. That was the good. Them were the good old days, though.
It was. It,
Those
it
were the
it
good old
definitely
days.
was. I wonder if I wonder. You know what? I'm gonna ask my daughter. I'm gonna ask them tomorrow. What would they call the good days for their time? Because my daughters, they're like 5 years apart. So
hmm
I'm gonna ask both of them what was their best time growing
hmm
up. You know, um, because like for me, the best time that I could remember and that I had was before the 90s. 80s, before the 90s, before I went to high school, was the best time of my life. Like, I can remember um actually being a kid,
hmm
being a kid and growing up. I remember my strawberry shortcake bike. I remember my doll houses. I remember Christmas. Like, every holiday my grandmother would decorate. It didn't matter. Christmas, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, Halloween. Like, my grandmother, she decorated for every season. And I remember when God bless her soul, but when you go to grandma house, you get all the treats, the cakes, the danishes, the candy in a candy dish. I remember being 30 something. No, my grandmother passed away when I was in my 30s, and I remember before she got sick, I went to my grandma's house, and she know I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches toasted,
All right.
and she was still, baby, you hungry? And you always go to grandma's house hungry. It don't matter. You
All right.
always stop by grandma's house hungry.
All right.
And she would still make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich toasted.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the good, like, I remember those times where you wake up on Saturday morning, you at grandma's house, and you get to watch all the cartoons before
That
you go
came on.
outside. Yes,
All the cartoons
yes,
came
all
on
the
then.
cartoons. Yep, the
I mean, that's
Jetsons,
when they just show
Flintstones.
everything on the Saturday morning. Like
Yep,
you'll wake up late for school days, but when Saturday comes, you'll wake up early just to see the
you wake up
cartoons and
early
all that.
just to. Yep,
And I remember,
yep.
like, man, when we used to build clubhouses outside in the back and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and the hub people to
Mhm.
come and knock them down and stuff like that. We used to push the Winn Dixie buggies around and like round and stuff like that. We used to be doing all kind of shit,
uh,
man. That was my best. My best times was when I got the high school was my best times. Like I said, my
mm,
high school was my best times, and then
okay.
and so on. The '90s was a good time too,
Yeah.
and
But
we should do as we got older, like once the '90s, when the 2000 hit, stuff started getting serious. Then like when a lot of
Yeah, because you
killing.
was an adult. You was an
Yeah,
adult.
a lot of killing, a lot of all
Yeah.
type of different things was going on
You was
and stuff
exposed
like
to
that.
more. Yeah,
You
you
know
was
what I mean?
exposed to more. And you know what? You know, being an adult, you do see things that you quite naturally wouldn't see as a youth for me.
Mhm.
Um, because you know, certain certain things you just wasn't exposed to
Right.
as a child, you know, depending on your upbringing. And I remember I remember um when my grandmother, like when we used to go out of town and go to family reunions and go to Disney World, and it would be the whole family on a chartered bus, and the bus used to come pick us up from in front of my grandma's house. Like I
Hmm.
remember those days.
Hmm.
And I remember, you know, my grandmother buying pools, like
Yeah.
the recreational pools,
Right.
and you had a recreational pools in the backyard, and you didn't
Mhm.
have to go to the community pools to swim and stuff like that. Like we just
Right.
used to have so much fun. And I remember my uncle, he would spend thousands and thousands of dollars to get fireworks for the whole block.
Hmm.
And remember doing like 4th of July, you used to put the SOS pads
Yeah. On the hanger, clothes hanger.
on the clothes hanger, and
Hmm.
I thought that was the best thing. But I
Hmm.
remember what one year, um, um, it was jumping jacks, and a jumping jack had jumped in my shirt, and I got burnt that year. And after that, I ain't never messed around with the fireworks no more.
We used to like. I used to like to get the jumper jacks and throw them. We used to light them and throw them.
Mm-mm. And now they're so dangerous. They like you could light a jumping jack and it just go crazy all over the place. But I don't play with those things no more. Mm-mm.
We had the sparkles.
The
Um,
sparkles, yeah.
we had all kind of
The
shit. That's
Roman candles.
yeah, we had
Hmm.
all that. Hmm.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question.
Hmm.
Like, with your children being, you know, you have adult children or younger children or whatever, what would you do if you could do anything different? What would you do different from your youth or having kids um at a young age?
Uh, I think like not having the many kids that I have. I think that probably would have been a problem. That would have been the best thing, but they here now, but it's a different thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like they say, it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, they. Some people say like, oh, they'll talk about, oh, he got a lot of kids, but okay, just because you got a lot of kids don't mean nothing. Because you take care of your kids. It's different if you
Mhm.
don't take care. But I
Mhm.
take care and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But it's like, it's a blessing.
Mhm.
It's a blessing to have because you want your legacy to live on. You know what I mean? Once your end of your world, that's it. You know what I mean? But you got
Mhm.
your DNA is still living on and going on and on to the next generations and the lifetime and the decades and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I
But
remember when I
what
remember
advice?
when I remember when I was small and we was like when we used to have to run around the track at school before we played at Edison Park and I would be talking to my home where we used to be walking the talk. A lot of us be walking the talk. I say, man, when I grow up, I'm gonna have a lot of kids.
Mhm.
I already had dictated my future already as a young kid already when I said that,
Mhm.
and I end up doing that. But
Mhm.
I ain't gonna say it wasn't. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, but it's just the people who you have the kids with. That's the problem.
Mm.
That's the problem. That was the only problem that I had with dealing with with the kids. But other than that, I'm grateful for them.
So if you had to do it all over again, you'll still have the same amount of kids. Would you choose to have one mother, or do you think that you would still spread them out sporadically?
Um, if it was one mother, but we can't dictate how many, kids mother we gonna have because not all relationship lasts long.
Yeah. What would you tell your younger self today if you know, if you were to talk to your younger self? What would you tell your younger self?
Um, watch who you have kids with. That's the number one thing. Watch who you have kids with,
Uh-huh.
because that's the main thing. You know what I mean? The kids is not the problem. It's the parent, the person you lay down and have a kid with. Because you know what I mean.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people, they upbringing was different from your upbringing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
and everybody was taught different.
Right.
Like they mama may tell them, "Oh, your daddy don't run shit in my house."
Okay.
And that's the mentality they gonna grow up with when they have a man in the house. Oh, you don't run shit in my house. This my house. You know what I mean? And I seen
Yeah.
that growing up a lot with different women's. I done heard it. You know what I mean? Being
Yeah.
around my aunties and my mama and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
that's everybody brought up different. That's what I can say. They brought up different, and
Right.
everybody was raised different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Some
Mhm.
women's daddy wasn't in their life,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that play a big part in having kids with a woman like that, because she don't know how to treat you
Mhm.
as a man being her significant other. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
plays a big part in that too.
Mhm.
When you have a kids of people that that ain't women that don't have their daddy wasn't around.
Right. So what do you think is different from the way people raise kids then versus now?
Shit. Back then when we was coming up, shit, them kids. When we were coming up, shit, I couldn't do shit because I had to get my ass whooped. Them ass whoopings that I ain't want, but my mom ain't play the radio, boy. She tear her ass up. Boy, that ass. Hey, as I was growing, I
Mhm.
would count down. I say, boy, 18 need to get here quick enough. So I ain't got to get them ass whoopings no more, boy. When 18
You
finally
could be
hit, boy, I was
so
so
you could
happy.
be bad. So you could be bad and don't have to worry about getting your ass
I
whooped.
say, man, I was so happy when 18 hit, boy.
What
Shit, I was
what
so happy.
let me ask you a question. What about the maturity level of the kids back then versus the kids now? Like when you were 15, 16, and you see a 15 or 16-year old now, um how is it, how do you see that it's different?
Um, they don't have no respect.
Mhm.
They carry themselves a different way. Like back then, some kids, I ain't gonna lie. Back then, you had some kids that had no respect too, but it was more stricter. The parents could have
Mhm.
had more control in the household
Mhm.
than with now.
Mhm.
Now they can't have that much control in their household because people scared of getting DCF called on them, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So that like you can't really be a parent how you really want to. You can't put your foot down in your household. So that's why a lot of the kids doing what they do now today. Talk back to the parents, smoke weed, have guns in the house. They just do whatever they want to do. You know what I mean? Some
Mhm.
parents they scared of being a parent
Mhm.
because especially when you have a kid with somebody else who mother let them do whatever they did when they were coming up, and then you trying to raise your kids how you knew you would raise the right way,
Mhm.
it ain't gonna work because every time you try to do something with the child, she gonna go against it.
Mhm. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that um because you mentioned about how your mom used to tear your butt up and stuff like that, but do you think that when the word of God said spare the rod spoil the child, you think that meant to be to spank, to spank the children, or to, or to chastise the child in in such in such a manner.
Yeah, and you supposed to. In the Bible, I mean, it say you could flag them when they it say when they get out of line, you could flag them. Flag
Hmm.
them mean you beat them. You know what I mean? You get them in line. But
But let me.
nowadays, like I'm gonna say this, like my mom used to tell my ass up. You get what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? Anytime I did something to school, I done got an ass whooping inside the classroom, in front of the whole classroom,
Hmm.
with a water hose. Nobody
But how
couldn't
did
tell
you?
her to stop,
But let me.
cause
But let me ask you a question. After she did that, how did you feel? Like how did that make you feel as a child? What was your thoughts after the beating or before the beating? How did that make you feel?
I fucked up. I done some shit I ain't supposed to do.
But did it stop you from doing it, or did you
Yeah,
do something
I didn't.
else?
I didn't. Once like through the times getting them ass whoopers and hearing my mama talk, the voice that shit stuck with me. So it's like if I decide to go try to do something, I hear her voice
Hmm.
and I say, then I just go back. I say, nah, I don't want them ass whooping. I ain't finna do that. I wouldn't do it.
So that's the only thing that stopped you from doing things, because you didn't
Yeah,
want to hear your
yeah.
mama voice.
Cause
You didn't want to hear her mouth.
I know I could have done. I was in the era when smash and grab, snatching pocketbooks, all that was going on. I could have easily been involved in that,
Right.
but my mama kept her foot on me, so that's why you know what I mean. I didn't get involved in that.
So you was a hard head. You was just a hard headed child.
I don't even got a juvenile record. You know what I mean? I don't even have. I ain't never had a juvenile record either. So that lets you know it's some type. They have somebody has some type of control in the household.
Yeah, but do you believe that you had to? Because I know my mom used to threaten us with beatings all the time. Like my mom used to be, "I'm gonna whoop your butt. I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna whoop," you know.
Uh,
But it was very seldom that she did it. You know what I mean? Like
mhm,
we was more fearful of what she would do versus what she did. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was four of us. We grew up four. I was the only girl. It was I had three brothers. I was the oldest. You know what I mean? And I can count. I think I got a whooping from my mama like twice,
mhm,
and one of them was because I was following my cousin,
mhm.
and that's what made me. After I followed my cousin, I never followed my cousin again. But I didn't cry when my mama was beating me. She would beat me with a stitching cord, and I didn't cry. My
Ooh.
cousin them begged me to cry so she could stop beating me.
Shit, you cried. That shit
I
hurt.
swear to God, you can ask my cousins. You
You
can
ain't
ask my
cry.
cousins. I did not cry. They begged me to cry. They begged
Ooh,
me
Lord.
to cry. And that's when I started crying. And because they just wanted her to stop.
So versus a white cable wire cord that comes out the wall,
Hmm.
tied up to a
Hmm.
big thing, versus a stitcher cord. Which one you think hurt the worst?
Which one? Say it again.
The cable cord that come out the wall, the white cord.
The white
Like
cable cord.
you
I
get a
think the
few of them
white
and
cable.
you
I
get them
think
and
the
braid
white
them together to one big thing, like one big old thing. Ooh, my mama whooped
that
my ass one
that
day.
will
Boy, you talking about
that
that shit there?
that will hurt more.
Ooh.
No
Don't let them hit
disrespect.
you on
That'll
the
hurt
on the
more.
on the side, like the sides, your side of your side, your thighs and shit. That's where it really
Uh
hurt the
huh.
most.
Yeah. But
Man.
that was the only one time my mama beat me real bad, and another time she beat me because I snuck out the house. But after that, but when I stuck out the house, I was in middle school,
Mhm.
and when she beat me, I think I was like 12 years old. So it was like round about the same time. I guess I was just, well, like I say, my cousin. The first time I got a whooping from my mama, I was following my cousin,
Right,
and then after that one time, I followed my cousin. Then I was trying to be a little grown
right.
and trying to sneak out the house. But after that, ass whooping, I ain't do nothing else. I was like, fuck that. I ain't following nobody. Fuck everybody. Cause I used to be real, real mean.
Yeah.
and I was real mean. I will fight anybody. It ain't matter. I fight whatever. And but then I slowed down because I was like a tom.
Mm-hmm. I think I lost her. I think I lost her right quick. She better come back in. Give it a little second. Okay, there you go.
My phone got hot. My phone
Oh,
got
okay.
hot and shut off.
Okay, so there you
And
go. You back on.
yeah. So my I became a girly girl or whatever, but then I started, being into, you know, dance and more into my schoolwork and things like that. So I had slowed down a lot, and I just kind of like my mom, she always used to tell us that you can get more by being honest than to tell a lie. So anything you wanted to do, all you had to do was go ask my mama, and she'll be either she gonna tell you no, and she gonna explain to you why, or
Right,
she gonna do whatever it is that you asked her to do. And
right,
that's just how she was. And people used to think that, oh, we were spoiled, but it wasn't that. It's just my mama used to like talk to us, and she communicated with us, and she talked to us about everything. She talked to us about sex. She talked to us about condoms. She talked to my brothers about condoms. Like my mama talked to us about everything. My mama told us don't have no kids. She was
right.
big like, and you got people today, like you talk to people and they tell you, oh, like we had those conversations in my house. Like I talk to young women, they like in their 30s and 20s and stuff like that, and they say, oh, our parents never talked to us about sex and how to change a pad and how to
Right.
do. And I'm like, huh? And they say they friends teach them or taught them
I
that
done
stuff.
heard
And
that.
you look at it
I
like,
heard that.
how?
I heard that. I
Like
heard that.
how?
Definitely.
Like my mom, my
Yeah,
mama, my
my
mama,
mom had them conversations with me in the household too. I remember that like yesterday.
yeah. And I think that's a good thing for parents to be able to have a a, a open line of communication with their kids when it comes to things, because like they say, like if your parents ain't teaching you, your friends will teach you. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't want my kids to learn from their friends, because who to say that they're gonna tell you the right thing, or tell you, you know, the right stuff,
Right.
or how to do it properly, or you know what I mean? So when you talk about um the times before and um the things now, like I think
Hmm.
that's thing right now, because all the kids now smoking weed. They smoking weed, they friends doing it, so they think it's okay to do it, and
Hmm.
you know, and I ain't never smoked no weed until I got grown. And my auntie, I was married, and my aunt was the one who me. She say, "Girl, I hope this is what they say. This is not rated PG. This is not a
It's rated
rated
R.
PG. Rated
It's
R.
rated R.
So I hope parents is monitoring what their kids are watching and listening to on the internet. Uh, and please don't allow them to listen to what is this? Keep
Be
it real.
yourself and keep it real podcast.
We don't want your kid. We don't want your kids to learn nothing over here, okay? But but my auntie, when I had smoked my first little, I was married and everything, and my auntie said, girl, you want to have some?" She said, "Girl, you ever had sex after smoking weed?" And I was like, "No." She said, "Girl, try it." You know what I mean? But that's because my auntie, she smoked weed. That's all she do is smoke weed. So, but I did it, and she wasn't lying. It's a different feeling. But would you want to do that all the time? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm, mhm,
Do that all the time. So, but you want your kids to get the proper advice, and not get advice from outside sources. Like, you want to be the one who tell your kids versus them finding out, or by a mistake, or by a friend, or by somebody who they met. You know what I mean?
right.
I think that's kind of something that has changed
Mhm,
within our community. Parents being more open with their children.
right.
And I think sometimes too open, you could be too open with your kids. I don't know.
Well,
What you
I
think?
never been open with my kids. I never been open with my kids, like letting them see me do things like that. I try to keep that from out their eyesight, because some things ain't meant for the kids to see.
Or here. Or here.
Yeah, yeah. Some things ain't meant for them to hear or see.
Yeah. But when you feel like the time is, you know, when is the time feasible to talk to your 10-year-old or 11-year-old or 12-year-old about the birds and the bees, and or sit down and have a talk with your daughter about um um their menstrual cycles, and things like that. um because I remember when I was growing up that when I was growing up, uh, you go to the doctor, and the doctor can tell your parent,
Hmm.
a young woman. I don't know
I
how it
remember
was
that.
for the guys, but
No, I
uh,
remember that girls' parents would take them to the what are they? Because they let them know they were having sex when they were going to school. Then that I remember. I remember
yeah,
that. Hmm.
okay, yeah. So that I do know that part, and my mom felt like um putting my mom didn't put me on birth control because she felt like putting you on birth control was telling you it was okay to have sex, you know,
Hmm.
and that's just that was her views. Um, but it
Right.
all became a natural thing
Hmm.
for parents to go and get their kid, have their teenage girls put on birth control at a very, very early age. Very early.
But in our era, that's when the girls were having all the kids. In the 80s, like what, the 90s, they were having all the kids. Like
Yeah.
in my school, my time growing up and coming into high school, they were having all the kids.
But y'all do know, I don't
Everybody,
know if
everybody were
y'all
having their
really think,
kids then.
but my thing is, um, young women always been having kids. The only is
back like when my grandmother and my mother, it was like almost like an embarrassment if you weren't married having
Mm-hmm.
kids. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know, my mom got pregnant with me very young, and she didn't want me to have kids while I was young, and
Right.
I understood that,
Right.
but but to have young, because they were trying to alleviate a lot of teen pregnancies,
Mm-hmm.
back then, even
Mm-hmm.
though, out of wedlock, because, it had started being a thing where, you know, um, parents, they wanted their kids to be married, you know, um, if they were going to have kids, and
Uh-huh.
they wanted them to wait just a tad bit, longer before they have kids. Now, kids, I mean, you have some girls that, they want to have kids early because they in love. They love the guy who they dating or whatever. And
Right.
so they want to board their children. But then you have girls who feel like, I don't want to have no kids.
Right.
And we having a lot more girls who's not having kids, and we having the guys who, I guess, they don't want to have kids either, because
Shit.
I don't even want to talk about it, but
Everybody, you
they
have a
don't,
kid with these women nowadays, everybody want to go downtown on you. That's majority like more why everybody
they want to what?
scared. They go to the child support office on you. They've been up file before the baby born. So
Oh,
when the baby born, they be already looking for you.
damn.
They be already looking for you.
I have,
I had a case like
I
that. My baby
have,
mama. I ain't even know she. I was taking care. I was buying, baby pampers and everything. I was doing everything I supposed to do. And so
uh-huh.
one day I asked her. She went to buy. I say, just give me the receipt when you get it. You know what I mean? I get them. I say, just bring me the receipt. What the fuck you worrying about me giving you a receipt for? Then she say, I'm gonna let them crackers deal with you. So I'm like, damn, because I asked for a
Mm-hmm.
receipt. Because I know my mom was
Mm-hmm.
always telling
Mm-hmm.
me keep your receipts. You know what I mean? So she said, I'm gonna let the crackers deal with you. From
Right.
that day, me and
Uh-huh.
her started talking, and then shit, they was already looking for me. It was already in the process. It was in the
That's
process. So
crazy. You
how
know,
I got caught up, I had caught a case, and they ain't served me.
mm,
They ain't served me in jail when I went to the probation office.
mm,
And how they found out I was on probation, my sister had done told her, and that's why I don't fuck with her now to this day. You know what I mean? She told her that I was on probation, and then that's how they came and served me at the probation office. The
mm,
probation office say you got to get that paper and all this. I was like, man, I don't want to get that. So that's how they
mm.
served me. Other than that, they would have never caught me. So long story short, um, okay, she used that system on me. I turned around and used the same
Mm.
system back on her. You know what I mean? And I freed
Oh,
myself with that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how that go. But we going that's something that I want to talk about too. I'm gonna start. We're gonna talk about that on a few episodes about custody and child support and all that stuff. I'm gonna have a episode of that because um, some people need to hear that. Some need to hear it, and some guys that need to hear it who trying to get time with their kids and stuff like that. And
Okay.
who want to be in their kids' life and stuff like that. Cause I want to air that on. We're gonna do that one episode. Cause I'm thinking about starting back doing that. What I used to do, helping people with they cases and stuff like that, and doing emotions and all that kind of stuff. But I
Mm,
think about I might do a workshop. Like a certain amount of
oh,
people could sign up and they bring their papers in. I help them do everything they need to do.
oh, okay. That'd be nice. I mean,
So
I want
that's something
to
I'm
tell
gonna
you,
start back.
um, I, one thing I had learned from my mom, and I'm glad I did learn
I
it
ain't
from my
spend
mom.
money on these I ain't spend money on these books for nothing. on them law books.
I see.
Family
Uh,
law, shit. I'll study these shits.
uh-huh.
I know it in and outs. And I got other shits too. I know the ins and
Why you
outs.
want just why you won't just go to school to become a paralegal?
I already got a paralegal work for me. So if I need her to run
Huh?
something, and if I got a paralegal already, so if I'm working on
I
somebody's
said why
case and I
you
need a
won't become
motion done, I already know what to do.
I
I'm
say
just
why
saying,
you won't
I could be able to
mhm.
come up, but at the same time, I got a paralegal. If I need something done, I just send it to her. She'll get the motion
Oh
done
yeah,
and send it
if
back to
you
me.
yeah,
I'll do it sometimes if I got the
yeah.
time to do it. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah,
Uh,
I got a team already. When I'm ready to get back into it, we'll get to it.
right, right.
Yeah.
But I one thing I did learn from my mom because my mom never put my dad on child support, right? And
Hmm.
it's something I always, you know, thought of or whatever because I didn't put my kids' fathers on child support either. Um,
Hmm.
no matter how mad, no matter how mad I was or whatever, because God allowed me, He allowed my children to be blessed with a man in their life that was like their father, who took care of them very well. So
Hmm.
um, I had I had no need for it, and my daughter has a really good relationship with her dad, and you know, he used to piss me off too, because one
Hmm.
thing don't like about the some men is when they get with a woman, they forget about their children. You know,
Yeah.
I can't respect a man like that. I
Yeah.
could never respect a man like that. And
Yeah.
because you know, if everything is on the up and up, a woman will be there for your children as if they are her own. You know what I mean? And but and it and other the other parent sometimes make it hard for the woman, but the the biggest thing was the support that the 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 husband and the wife have to have for each other. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So we did good raising the kids. You know, even though our marriage didn't last um as long as I would have liked, we were able to raise the kids together, because he had a son and I had two girls. So but we raised them as brothers and sisters,
Hmm.
and we did everything together as
Hmm.
a family, as a unit. And a lot of times people don't like to see that. They don't like to see that. And it's okay, you know, um, for people to not want certain things for you.
Hmm.
But as long as you two have an understanding, everything will be good. But
Right.
the child support thing is always been a big issue, because you should never have to force someone to be a parent. And people will say, "Oh well, they, I ain't have them by myself." No, you didn't have them by yourself. But 9 out of 10, we know the type of man we getting involved in with anyway.
Right.
And a lot of times it don't be the man that walk away, it be the woman that decides to walk away because she's not getting or obtaining the things that she wants from that man. Like my daughter's
Not all the
father, he
time.
was,
Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes it be the mom run the man off.
yeah, I mean that can happen too. That can
It be
happen
the
too.
it be
It,
it be
it,
the
it
it be the woman run
but
the man off
you
because
know
they
what?
just they
But
like
it's a
yeah.
catch 22 with that.
And the catch
And
22
I'm gonna
is
tell you why.
they'd rather get the money than the kids to have time with their father.
That's after the
That's the lick.
relationship is over.
That's the lick what's going on now. These
What you
women
mean?
nowadays will rather collect money and the kids don't get shit out of them, they still be dirty. And and without letting the father see the kids. And you got some that tell the daddy, "Oh, you got to give me some money before you see your kids." You know what I mean?
I'm sure that's going on. I'm sure.
It's a lot of that going on right
I'm
now.
sure. I'm sure. I mean, I don't affiliate with those type of people, and if I did, I will correct them. There is no way that I can see a person doing wrong by a child and not say anything at all. Um, yeah, no,
For
you
example,
can't. You.
I'm gonna share the story with you, not to cut you off. God bless them, my cousin. He was dating this girl, this lady. When he moved over with her. She stayed. They stayed close by my house, so I have to go over there and walk over to me and my partner, my best friend. Used to go over there and walk over there and go chill with him and stuff. So he was taking care before when he got with her, he would take care of her and her two kids. They daddy wasn't on child support, and he was doing what he wanted to do. He took care of them, and when my
Mhm.
cousin went and he became a certified welder, and he was like doing that underwater welding. He was doing different kind of welding and stuff like that. So once he
Mhm.
started making
Mhm.
all that good money, she ran down there and put him on child support. And I'm
For
saying
her kids that wasn't here.
no. Then he had a daughter with her. Finally had a daughter with her,
Oh, yeah, one.
but
Okay.
she ran and put him on child support. And it's like ever since she
Mhm.
did that, he wasn't the same no more. But
Mhm. Cause
they
he
women
felt
don't
betrayed.
no women don't forget. They always forget what a man done before. A man could have always done something for him, took care of the household, whatever, whatever. They don't forget that. They forget that. So all that he was doing, take care of her kid, doing all that, she went down there and put him on child support. And they were taking
Mhm.
all his money and all that. It was a whole big thing. And it's like ever since that time, like since that,
Man.
my cousin been in a dark space, like a dark space, and like it's like I just watch him as I got older, how he just like was on. Then till he finally like one day he just had a heart attack at a young age.
Mm.
You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So the women don't care. And then when I look at the lady now, she like a bank robber. All right, real black right here. Whew.
What you look like, dead president?
But yeah, when my auntie passed, she came to the funeral. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just life, man. People they forget what you do for them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I
I,
I'm gonna
I,
tell you, I
I done had my fair share doing things for with this girl I was with um for about I with that girl. I've talked to that girl for a long time, like back in and her mom used to put out all the time, and I used to, I was making money and stuff back then, so I used to put up in hotels and stuff like that. We always be staying in the hotel and stuff like that. Even though I could have stayed home at my mom's house, but we would just because I was old to the age, I could have,
mhm.
I
Yeah.
stayed at the hotels and stuff. Man, so she got pregnant. So I'm trying. Okay, her stomach wasn't showing then. Like she was staying with me, and I had my own place then. Her stomach was getting big as we go on. So
Mhm.
she had the baby, and my mom say that little boy don't look nothing like you. And I was like, and I look at the picture where she gave big picture, used to have it outside the house of him, and I was just look at the picture like looking at. So one day I was in the house, and this spirit that always talked to me said that ain't your baby, but she had to win
Mhm.
and put me on child support. And
Mhm.
when I went down there, I told him that it was mine. Cause I figured that,
Mhm.
we was living in the same house together. You know what I mean? I thought it was mine.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
so when that spirit told me that, I stuck with that. I said I want my baby. I went back to court. We went back to court for like
Mhm.
they brought me in for contempt and stuff like that. I had
Mhm.
I told the judge, "This ain't my baby." Judge said, "If you say it again, I'm gonna hold you for contempt." I said, "What you gonna lock me up for a child that ain't mine?"
Mhm.
So, or if you feel like it ain't your child, you could contest that, bring, petition that. I said, okay. So her friend was on her like, why the boy need to know who his daddy is, such and such, such. You need to um let him get to know who his daddy is. So the
Mhm.
friend talked in, and so I paid the $550 for the DNA for us to do. That when they just started doing
Mhm.
DNAs. So I paid the money.
Mhm.
We did it. Then she came and the friend
Mhm.
and she did the DNA. I will never forget. I was at the bank with my mom. Next thing you know, the man called and said, "Oh, she just came to get her paperwork." And he said that you're not the father. I said, it's like a big pound of weight lift off my back. And I'm like, I say, damn, boy. Because I fought that case for like 12 years now. It was 12 years. They done took all my income tax. They done took all my unemployment. They took everything from me. They took my title to my Monte Carlo. They took everything. So I was like, okay.
Mm.
And when I finally won mine, I went back to court and showed the judge. Judge say, so I got my lawyer. Got my lawyer. We went back in there. And my lawyer told the judge that they won a petition. We went to court like 3 times. So the two first times it was, they were saying this and saying that. But the third time, this old man, the old lawyer, the old judge, he probably dead now. He say, let me tell you what I'm gonna do. Say your money, and we're gonna do a DNA through us. And if it come back your child, you're gonna continue to pay. You start paying. I said, okay. And my lawyer said he ready to go down and take the DNA now. So I went downstairs. It so happened how God made things work. She came to court with all the children, her son and all of them came at the same time.
Uh,
So I went downstairs to go take the DNA. She so I came down there too, took it too. It came back. They sent me a letter
mhm.
in the mail, 0%. And the judge asked them to vacate
Mhm.
all liens on the car. They put some in my title to my car. They
Mhm.
kept. They ain't sent them. So
Mhm.
and then the state attorney was talking about they were going to reopen the case. And the ladies them down and say, you better not open up that goddamn case. Would you take somebody's child that ain't yours? That white man said no. So why would you want to open the case back up? So so I was told that I could sue her back for my money, but I was like, I was getting some of my I ain't even care. But I said, you know what? She could keep that. I say because her life ain't gonna be no
Yeah.
better. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if I was gonna sue, I wasn't gonna sue her. I was gonna sue them.
Right.
I was gonna sue them because they were the
Mhm.
ones who were pushing the issue, put me in jail, try to put me in jail, put
Right.
liberty holes on me and all that. I was gonna sue them
Yeah.
and let them pay
Yeah.
me, and then they go after her for their money back. So
Right.
I just say, you know what? I let it go. And look, right now to this day, she
Mm.
got about 7 kids, and all the daddies don't take care of none of the kids, right?
Mm.
And she ain't got no help from none of the daddies.
Mhm.
Struggling, can't take it. All that shit he done to me, that shit done came back, turned on her. She got 7 kids. When I first, then she only had that one little boy. She got 7 kids, and none of
Mhm.
the daddies take care of them. None of them.
Mm. Mm. You better be lucky you dodged that bullet, honey.
And I was like, man, I got the DNA and shit here still. I got to look for it. Because I want to show that shit in my workshop when I start doing it. I got both, the state and the one I paid for. I got them. And
Yeah.
that shit, that was crazy, man. That was a battle fight, boy. And they got me in the law down in the law book, case law.
You know, I think that's I
I'm a
think
case
that's
law.
one of the things I think that's one of the things that have changed drastically from then to now as well. The child support and stuff like that. Some of the stories I hear, it just it baffles me. Like women, a lot of women, they just want to hurt the man. They so hurt that they just want to hurt the man, and you feel sorry for them because you know that while they think or believe that they're living a good life, that somebody gonna pay for that.
Mhm.
In the long run, somebody gonna pay for that. They're gonna pay. Either the child is gonna pay or the mother is gonna pay, but somebody gonna pay because
Mhm.
you cannot in life.
you cannot be like spiteful, or you can't be one to want to hurt people, because when you hurt people, the one person you think you're hurting, you're not hurting them.
You're hurting the kids.
You're not hurting them. Huh?
You're hurting the kids. You ain't hurting the person. You're hurting the
You hurting
kids.
exactly, you hurting the kids, because you want that child or that parent, that other parent, to have a relationship. And for so long, they won't have a relationship, and they'll be growing up resenting the father. And then what happens is, or the mother, it all depends, because it's you have those, it goes both ways. Everything goes both ways, but you hurt either parent, you hurt the
Hmm.
child while trying to hurt the parent. But in the long run, the child will resent the parent that did the wrong in the long run. Right now they don't understand, and they might despise the mother or the father who they feel like not doing. And they feel
Right.
like, because the mama ain't telling the child that, oh, your daddy give me $500 to take care of you. She look at, that's her shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Or you got some dads out here paying $1,200 a month for
Yeah.
child support for one child.
Right.
And then they say, fuck how you can live. You know what I'm saying? And she go to work, or she may not go to work. And they the whole family living off of that $1,200. So the man taking care of the new man and everybody else, and vice versa, but I just think that and then you have situations like how you went through, where they say you the daddy, you believe what she say because y'all was in a relationship,
Hmm.
and then come to find out 12, and I've been hearing about that happening before your time,
Hmm.
because I know a couple of people who done raise kids to they 16, so you better be lucky, because you only had to take care of it for 12. It's a lot of people that had to take care of kids 16 years. They only had 2 years before that child turned 18, and come to find out that child ain't theirs. That's
But
heartbreaking.
my case opened up the door now for men. So when they do get served or whatever for child support, that they got to do a DNA first to make sure they child that's
Yeah,
their child before, because they wasn't like that before. My
yeah.
case opened the doors when I had did that case, and they put me in case law. My case, I overturned that, and
Oh wow.
yeah, I overturned that. I'm in the case
Oh
law. So
wow.
my case is out of
That's
case law.
that's. Oh, you got to show me that.
Yeah, and man, it just I'm telling you, man, like I ain't
I
gonna
think
lie, I have my times when I
I
had
think that I think it's a good thing for black men to stand their ground when it comes
yeah, but
to
some of
certain
them,
situations.
but some of them ain't got that fight in them, and some of them ain't
Yeah,
go stand up for what's right. They'll just say that some of them just okay with paying.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think, and like I just tell some of them, like, you can't pay and then still go get the kids and spending more money. You can't do that. If that's what she
Hmm.
wanted to do, put you on child support, you could continue to pay that, but don't give her nothing else extra on the outside. I know niggas that the girls will call them and say they want more, they want this, they need this and that on top, even though they getting the money, and they still give it to them, and that's stupid.
Mm.
Like my cousin, he was one of them, and I just tell him, he told me, so, oh, Tiffany gonna get whatever she got, and I'm saying, you giving more, all that money you were giving her, and you
Don't
still giving
don't
more money,
drop
you a
names.
fool.
Don't drop names. Don't
Oh,
do
my
that.
brother's dead, my cousin gone, but I ain't dropped no name, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's a lot in that shit, man. Like, I had my fair share of my battles and my fights and that shit, and I can stand up to that shit any other day, because I, you know what I mean, like, I know what to do, and I got some mean lawyers on my side, so it's really whatever, you know what I mean,
Hmm.
and they good, so it could be whatever, but because I used to do my own paperwork, and my lawyer just is to go in and talk for me. That's all I paid her for, to go talk
Hmm.
for me, but I used to do my own
Hmm.
paperwork. And he be like,
Mhm.
"Damn, why your papers? This thing is so good. Like, you need to come work for me for the summer or something like that." Like, he's like, "Damn." And you see the case laws I put in there. He like, "Damn, you really like you know." And that man, and he was a good
Mhm.
lawyer. You know, they good lawyers that I dealt with. The lady, the man. Like, I had a few. All my lawyers always were good lawyers.
But let me ask you a question. Um, do you believe that with our children today, the way things are with our kids today, because we got some fucked up kids in our world. They
Yeah, we
fucked
do.
up.
Yeah, we do.
We got a lot, and I ain't saying all of them, but what I am saying is the majority of them, they not doing the right things at all. And I
Right.
just want to know how do you think that what do you think will take for our kids to gain an understanding about life and how precious life is with the way, because I mean, of course, killing has always been a thing. Like, you know, killing has always been a thing. I don't think that it's been how it is right now. And
Right.
I know that um our kids are a product of their environments,
Right.
a lot of them. But what do you think that it will take for a vast majority of our youth, girls too, because you have girls who out here doing wild stuff.
Right.
But what do you think that it will take to get the vast majority of our kids on the right track, on the right path?
First up, for it gonna start from the home first. I think that the parents them need to come together and be on the same page with raising the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
let the fathers them be more active in their kids' life, and stop trying to
Mm-hmm.
push them away, and let them be more active in their
Mm-hmm.
kids' life. Because it's a lot of fathers out there that do want to be active in their kids' life. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I think if they'll do that, it'll change the cycle of some of the kids. Because I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
tell you, for example, like some people don't, women don't understand, like because they never had that. They fathers, they when they was a little girl, they fathers, they first love, the first man they ever
Mm-hmm.
fall in love with, and he would teach her
Mm-hmm.
how a man's supposed to treat her.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
he
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
that's the first teaching, and you know what I mean. And as it go
Mm-hmm.
on, and like that's with the boys, their mothers, they first love. You know what I mean? And she would teach him
Mm-hmm.
how a woman's supposed to treat him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it go hand to
Mm-hmm.
hand. It go hand to hand.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got like
Well.
some of these girls of today, they never had that, so they looking for that. They looking for
Mm-hmm.
that father figure. That's why a lot of them end
Mm-hmm.
up being hoes, get pimped by men, because they figure that's a father figure. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them doing things they ain't got no business doing because they think it's right, but it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So if they had that father
So how?
figure in their life,
So what do you believe will be the first step to reach the youth? Like on a whole, like what do you think will reach the youth? Okay, say they don't have that that mother to teach them how to be a daughter, or how to be a woman, a lady, or whatever, and the boys don't have that man that will teach them how to be a man and how to love and nurture and be a young man. When they don't have that, how can we get that to them?
I think
How
like
can we get that to them? How?
more people have to come active in the community. Like they could be able to get the youth, them, the boys, them, and talk to them and show them something different than what they doing and what's going on in the world right now. Because really, to tell you the truth, it's the music. It's the
I,
music. What? It's the
I know
music.
that.
It's the music. And social media. You got TikTok. You got no
Yeah,
TikTok. You got
yeah.
Instagram. You got Facebook. All of those things these kids look at. That's what they want to do when they see the rappers.
And
All
it's
the
feeding
stuff they
their
see,
mind
they want
negativity.
to do it. They want to suit. They want to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Because before, like when
Yeah.
they on their way going to do a homicide, they playing drill music. Drill music, certain songs that they going to ride on a nigga,
That.
whatever they going to do. You know what I mean? Put a nigga on a t-shirt. That's drill music that they listen to.
Oh,
You
okay.
know what I mean? So they a
Drill
lot of them
music.
like
Okay.
they call it drill music. A lot of them like drill music when they going to go kill somebody and stuff like that. They amp them, they pump them up before they get to where they
Mm,
going to go do. You know what I mean? And
mm,
it just got to the point that murder took over. Like murder becoming a style to the young kids. So everybody,
mm,
if you ain't committing a murder, you ain't who your name don't hold no weight.
mm.
So if you doing that, then your name holding weight. But if you ain't doing that, your name ain't holding no weight.
You know, to hear you say it, like you could see it all day, but to hear you say it, it becomes real. It you know, it becomes it became real.
Hmm.
Um, for me just now because a lot of times we feel like it don't affect our family, so it doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like I don't have no boy children, so it don't matter to me. I don't have children, so it don't matter to me. And what we fail to realize is that it all should matter to us because no, it's not your child or it's not your family member, but it's somebody's child and somebody's the family member.
Hmm.
Um, and I think it's very sad. It's very sad that we have our youth that's dying in such a large capacity at this point and so rapid. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like really so rapid. And I pray I pray every day for our city and our youth. I do because they're our future. And what people have to realize is that in this day and time, what you're raising is what you're putting out into our community. And if we don't get a grasp on it now, it's gonna get more out of control. It's out of control, but it's gonna get more out of control. Because if the kids don't have, because I remember growing up, we had respect for our elders, we had respect for the neighbor, we had respect for a teenager that was 2 years older than you.
Right.
Now, kids don't have no respect, like none, like
They
none.
don't. They don't.
And I remember my mom used to say all the time, people don't like disrespectful children. My mom used to say that all the time. People don't like disrespectful children. Disrespectful children can't get nothing. My mama would say that all the time. And I understand why she said that. Because it's true. It's the ugly truth
Right.
that people don't want to deal with nasty, disrespectful children.
Right. Right. I
So
don't like. I don't even like
we
it myself. I don't like it. I'm serious. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
it's terrible. It's really terrible. And to see where we were to where we're at right now with our youth, it's 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 so sad. It's just sad. It's sad.
But
I
you know what?
I see
You know who you really need to blame. But it starts from the home. But at the same time,
look,
you need to blame our
uh-huh.
government. Blame our government because our government is the way they doing this thing. They set the
Yeah.
system up for the parents to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Like
But
they
if
don't
we
want us
don't
to be parents. Like back in the days, we could be
know
parents, but now we can't be parents. Cause hold on,
The reason,
cause
the reason,
hold on, hold on. Let me say,
go ahead,
cause if we
go ahead, go
chastise
ahead.
our kids won't become a product of the system. But if we can't control our kids and and do that, they're gonna become a product of the system. So that could
But
keep
if,
the money
but if
flowing.
we, but if we don't get out as parents to fight against the government, because that's where the biggest problem lies. If we're
Black
not
people
okay,
ain't some black people ain't gonna do
we
that.
can
They
sit
ain't.
back.
They'd rather go stand up in the
We
Rolex
can.
and on Oldie Goldie night on Monday nights, and they'd rather go to what to the office. And they'd rather do all this other stuff and go to jazz and the God, but they're not gonna stand up. See, that's what I understand with black people. They will do all this, but when it comes down to things that we really need to be changed, they ain't gonna do it. They
Yeah.
ain't gonna do it. So that's just a waste of time going back and forth with
That's
somebody
sad.
black. That's just a waste of time because they not gonna do it. And then when stuff start happening,
Yeah.
oh they this, they did that. Oh, where was you it was time to go and make a change in that? But
Mm-hmm.
they'll go stand up there in the line for Jordans. They'll stand in line for new iPhone. They'll stand in line for this what coming out new. But they're not gonna do that. They ain't gonna fight for what's right.
Hmm. Well, one thing that I have been thinking about a lot of, and I said, you have to be the change that you want to see. And that's why, even when my kids were young and in school, if I seen something that wasn't right, I said something. I don't never not say nothing. I'm going to
Right.
say something because I
So
feel that if you don't say anything, then they feel like it's okay.
right,
That's why I don't buy stolen goods because we're encouraging the kids. We're encouraging them to do stupid shit, go out there, steal, take somebody's stuff, and then we purchase it. I can't approve of that. Um, when my kids were learning how to drive, I would never teach my kids how to drive before they got their license. They restrict. Why? Because you teaching them how to um drive illegally. Then when they steal your car because they think they can drive, then who's the fault? Who's the blame?
you
Because that will be, oh, do as I say and not as I do. Because
uh-huh.
I showed you how to drive without no license, so you gonna feel that you comfortable enough to take my car while I'm not, while I'm not looking or whatever. You take
Right,
my car and now you don't cause the wreck or problem or whatever, and now I have to pay for it. But guess what? If had you not taught them how to drive that car without license, they wouldn't have felt the need to take the car while they didn't have license.
right,
So those are the things that I kind of like look at, and I say, um I truly believe that it starts there, being the example that you want to see
right,
in the youth, in our children. If you want to see kind children, you have to be kind. If
right,
you want to see honest children, you have to be honest. If you want to you know I I remember, being with my kids and my little cousins and stuff, and I would get them together and I would take them places all together, because you have to show them that it's just not about you. You know what I mean? Like it's a whole world out here.
right,
You know, our kids are very selfish. They want everything. They, I don't know. We raising some fucked up ass kids,
like Dick
and
Gregory
we
said.
sending them out in the community.
Like he said that these kids from the '80s, they come from somewhere else. They don't know. We don't. They come from somewhere else. You know what I mean? Because the kids, they now
Yeah,
they act like you owe them something. And you could have took care of them all
yeah,
these times. They still saying you ain't never did nothing for them. So that's
yeah.
just. Let's see what the next 10 years generation of kids gonna be like. Will they be the birth
Shit.
system or there be a
No,
similar? I don't
you
know.
know what? No, I think it'll get better, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the grandmothers will be older. and they will be able to sit their ass down and watch their grandkids
but
and raise them and take
but
them to
some
church and read a book to them and tell them about, you know, the stories, you know, because I think that's too what's lacking, that parents didn't tell their kids certain things because they felt like, oh, they don't need to know that. But sometimes kids do need to know. They do need to know that, hey, it ain't always been easy for
right,
me, and I had to work hard. You
right,
know, yes, I have this now, but it ain't always been like this.
right,
So, you know, you can't spend every dollar you have, and you can't, you know, go everywhere, and you can't do everything. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because it, you know, my kids sometimes they get to a point where not all, not both of them, but one of them, she get to a point where she feel like, you know, as if I never did anything, and I'm okay with that because
Right,
my
right.
thing is, long as I know what I've done, I'm okay with whatever your thoughts or
Right,
scenario is about whatever,
right.
however your upbringing was.
Right.
Because people do see things and view things differently.
They
They
do.
do. Yeah, and you could be raised in the same house because that's one thing me and my brother talked about. You know that the same conversations that Mama would have with me wasn't the same conversations Mama would have with her boys
Right,
because I was a girl.
right.
When my mama said, "Hey, when that light come on, I want your ass in this house," my brother and them was still outside playing.
Shit,
You
my
you
mama
understand what
said,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
And that's just how it is. So
right,
you know, but I don't. I just think that, you know, we really need to just tighten up with these kids, like honestly. Like
right,
if you see a kid doing something, I used to tell my kids, because my mama used to tell me that, but she used to say, somebody's always watching you, even when you don't want to be a role model, you are,
right,
because somebody's always intrigued by you. So do the right thing always.
right, right,
So let's just pray that everything get better, and you know, hopefully we could change one life at a time
right,
with these segments, because it's conversations that need to be had, and a lot of times they're not being had. But what I wanted to say before we go, right,
mm-hmm,
I seen Charleston White today on a video. I
mm-hmm,
don't know if you've seen the video,
mm-hmm,
but he was cussing out this boy. He was cussing out this boy.
mm-hmm.
He was cussing out the boy. I couldn't even watch it because although the young man was being very disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
Charleston White shouldn't have responded the way he did. He started talking about the boy mama and everything.
Yeah, but
Lord,
but he be saying some real stuff though. He talks some real stuff. I like to listen to some of the stuff he say. He say some real
no.
stuff.
Hey, Hook, he cussed the boy out and talked about his mama
But
in a
some
very
of the stuff
negative
he
way.
say, well, the boy might be disrespecting him for him to do that.
Yeah, he did. But that's what I
So,
said. The boy
so
was
that's
very
why he,
disrespectful.
cause
But
he
he was
disrespect him.
but that's not but that's not changing the world. That's adding chaos to an already
I
chaotic
watch,
situation.
I watch plenty of his like videos. There was some boy on there telling about he gonna shoot him if he come to this city, and all that. They be threatening him all the time. So, and I hear him cuss them out, but that's just how it is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Well, the Bible say we gotta speak to them the way they understand,
right? When he
huh?
said that he was in the background helping change the laws, they ain't want looking at him then. But when he had to come out and start acting like a nigga, that's when they respected. They listening to him now, which is true. They ain't want to listen to nobody doing no laws, whatever. You come in there acting stupid and talking stupid, they want to hear that though. That's what I know with
Yeah.
black people. If you talking arguing and fussing on something, oh, they like that. They gonna chime in for that, not for
Oh
the right
yeah.
thing.
I put prayers on my Facebook all the time. You might get, and you know, the same 10 people who gonna say like or respond, amen, whatever. But everybody else they'll fly past it. But it's not because of what you're doing, it's because of what they're doing. And a lot
Right.
of times people don't want that. They don't want that on their conscience. That damn, I was out there smoking weed, drinking this, doing that, popping that coochie and all that stuff, and this girl talking about God. You know what I mean? But what they fail to realize is that um God sees your heart.
Mhm.
He knows your heart. Like if your heart is pure and righteous, like do you, boo? You know what I mean? He
Right.
say don't do it. Don't overdo it. Like if you're drinking, don't get drunk like I did the other night. I swear to God. But I wasn't drunk. I just had drinks. You know what I'm saying? But people, you know, they gotta know that, you know, because you're doing what you're doing, don't shy away from God. You know what I mean? Or whoever you serve, Yahweh or, Islam or, you know, who Buddha or you know what I mean? Like just don't shy away from it. Hold on to that because
God
it'll
said
keep you in a
it's only
good
it's only one
place.
it's only one God, not two. One.
Hey, they call him everything. He's the I am.
Tell you what I read. He's only
He's
one God.
he's he, he's the I am.
One
They
God.
call him. If you read the word of God, you will see what they call him.
Yeah.
Okay? They call him everything.
Like
He's
you know
our
when you get up
everything.
when you get
They
up when
can
you get up in the morning and you look in the mirror, you always supposed to say, I am somebody.
exactly. Exactly.
You know what I mean? I do that every morning. Like in the
Exactly.
mirror, I am somebody.
You ain't. I'm just
And I'm somebody.
joking.
So
But to God be the glory.
mm,
It's 1:22 in the morning. I
so
got
I
work in the
thank
AM.
so I appreciate you coming on, sharing your thoughts on the topic, old era versus
Yeah.
new era. And we'll be back on
I hope
tomorrow.
we covered. I hope we covered old era, new era versus new era.
Shit. An hour and
We were
28
jumping
minutes.
all around, huh?
Hour and 28 minutes worth of covering. So I thank you for chiming in with us and anybody else who was on here looking and watching that continue to chime in with us and share the live. Thank you.
To God be the glory.
Okay.